In a recent case that got attention in Singapore, a 48 years old Indian origin man named Somasanmma M S Velu was cleaned of charges related to misbehaving with his domestic helper. The court granted him something called discharge amounting to an acquittal. But what does this mean and how did this happen? Let's delve deeper. Well, this case started with an accident that took place on July 3rd in a housing board flat in Singapore. At about 5 p.m., Somasanmma was accused of hitting her maid on her head with a mobile phone. It was considered serious because the victim was a foreign domestic worker and Singapore has very strict law to protect maids from the abuse. In fact, under Singapore's penal code, assaulting a maid is treated more severely than assaulting others. Why? Because these workers are considered vulnerable. They live with the families they work for and are often far away from home countries. If somebody is found guilty of maid abuse in Singapore, they can be jailed for up to 6 years and fined up to 10,000 Singaporean dollars. In Indian currency, that would be 6.2 lakh rupees. Somasanmma was officially charged in court on November 22nd last year with 2 counts of assault. But something really changed. On April 16, the court ruled that Somasanmma would not face trial anymore and the case was closed with an acquittal. Now, what does that mean? It means that he was not found guilty and the court made it very clear that he cannot be charged again for the same case. Now, let me tell you what exactly happened. The Attorney General's Chamber, which is the body responsible for prosecuting criminal cases in Singapore, they said that they allow the case to be resolved through the legal process called composition. In Singapore, composition is a legal term that means the accused and the victim agree to settle the matter out of the court, usually with the victim receiving some form of compensation. It's not allowed for specific type of crimes, by the way, like minor assault under the law. In this particular case, the AGC agreed to amend one of the charges and then approve the composition, meaning both sides agreed to settle the matter. After that, the court officially dismissed the case, giving the accused a full acquittal. Though the exact term of the settlement, like whether any money was paid or if the helper withdrew the complaint, was not shared publicly. But you know why this matters? Case like this often creates public debate, specifically in a country like Singapore where migrant worker protection is taken seriously. Every year, over 150,000 domestic workers, mostly women from countries like India, Indonesia and Philippines, work in Singapore. The government has very strict law to stop employers from taking advantage or abusing their helpers. And that's why even a single maid abuse case becomes a news. It raises questions about worker safety, justice, and the limits of legal settlement. At the very same time, this case also reminds us that legal system allows for flexibility and sometimes not every case needs to go to trial. But it also shows how difficult it can be for vulnerable workers to seek justice. Specifically, the case ends quietly. For the Indian community in Singapore and abroad, the case is a reminder of 2 things: the importance of understanding local law and the responsibility to treat domestic workers with dignity. Because these cases can lead to serious jail time and if settled, they can impact reputation and public image.